How's it going, everybody? Nikki D here, coming at you live, man, yet again. And today we're doing a little movie review. No, normally I'm just sitting in a field somewhere doing them, so I'm going to try to edit this a little bit. It's my first time giving it a go like this, and we'll put some movie footage from the trailer as I talk, just so it helps out. But we'll come back so you can see me, like got the chest out and everything. You get to see that as we talk about it. So today, the movie A Quiet Place, Day 1. Watched it last night. I just want to give some fresh thoughts. So this is going to be non-spoilers. If you want to go to the spoilers part, which will be a quick movie review, but if you want to go to that part, I'll have it, hopefully if I remember to edit it, down below now, somewhere on the screen with a timestamp of like this time, and I'll hopefully put a chapter in, so you can just cut right to it. Yeah, so no spoilers, just initial thoughts. I'm not the biggest fan of this movie. I'm going to say that. I don't know if that's going against the grain. The Google reviews, I mean, looking at them after the movie, I completely went in blind other than a little bit of a trailer, which is not very much. Yeah, it's like 2.9, which was like, okay, like, about the middle of the pack. But I typically, I try to say I ignore Rotten Tomatoes a little bit because I just don't really know, like, just a lot of critics on there. I just want the general person. But my issue is I find a lot of stuff just gets review bombed too. So it's just like give it your own go. Like just go at it yourself and then just make up your own opinion. And that's what I did. Uh, like overall, I just felt like it lacked something. I would talk about more about that in the spoilers. But it just felt like it missed the mark for me. But I did enjoy parts of the movie. There are some excellent shots. Obviously, from the trailer. Okay, like I'm not spoiling anything here. You know from the trailer, this is day one. This is probably something related to the day one of the invasion of the creatures from space coming in, right? And they're coming in hot and from to New York City again, all in the trailer. I'm spoiling anything in the trailer after that. Then it's whatever. Yeah. So I like that concept. That is cool. Now the only time we've really seen that right was really the second movie in the beginning. And I thought that was quite nice, actually. I really liked it. But it was like, what, one creature in their town? But it was enough, right? Because it just obviously takes everybody out. So I think in premise I liked it. There were some shots that I really liked. I didn't overly mind the story. The runtime's really quick as well. It was about an hour and 28 minutes, I think. I had to look that up after just to double check. So it's a really quick movie, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing or a good thing. I think a quicker runtime, some people will like that, and I think other people would maybe prefer the 2 hour movie. One criticism I will say is like maybe it could have been a little bit longer, right? For my just overall viewing pleasure, maybe it could have hit the 2 hour mark and just add a little fluff to that. I don't know, but did it need it? I'm not too sure. So I'm really restraining myself not to talk about spoilers, so I think we'll end that part there. So I think you should watch it. I genuinely think people should watch the movie and make up their own opinion. But as far as a standpoint for me, and a big fan of the first one, little less so in the second one, but still a fan of the second one. This is definitely my least favorite of the three. Supposedly there's a game in works and there is another movie coming. So that will be interesting. And I didn't mention it before, but this is supposed to be obviously a prequel as it's day one. So it's a prequel to technically to the first movie. So that out of the way, let's get into spoilers. So if you don't want to know anything about what's going on, here's your chance. So some of the stuff from the trailer honestly just really showed all the action scenes in my opinion, but that's a good thing. Yeah, so it starts off just like how you would have thought it would. It starts off New York City a couple years ago, obviously, because they showed an iPad on iPod Nano or something at one point, so it's a couple years ago. New York City, and our main character, she's got like terminal cancer. Okay, so she's obviously not doing hot. I won't lie, in the first few minutes, I didn't know what the heck was going on with her. I knew she had something going on. I just didn't know that's what it was. And I've seen a few people in some of the reviews were a little confused, but that's definitely what it is, confirmed. Now, the main character goes into the big city, and obviously day one happens, and it's pretty quick. I don't know. I'm not a critic, right? I'm just overall, like, I'm just a general viewer. So I'm just hitting you with the general thought process here. I would have actually preferred them kind of just relent a little bit and give us more time to get to know the character. But maybe also, this is just, I'm trying to play devil's advocate. Maybe also in the same token, it's not meant to do that for that whole purpose. It's like, we don't want you to get so devoted to this character because this is exactly how this would have happened. There was no notice. There was no military broadcast. Hey, incoming, by the way. Like, it's just like all of a sudden they're here, right? And they're here to stay. So the initial like they come out to play. I think it's pretty good. There's a scene where it goes like to a lot of fog or mist or something, and it's like that classic, like they're like darting through the fog and taking out the loud people. And I just found they found out that the silence really quickly. There is some scenes, and I'll come back to this in a moment, but there's some scenes where helicopters fly by and they're broadcasting to be quiet. They're like, hey, like quiet, quiet. But they were already doing that beforehand. So I'm a little confused. Like, did people just figure that out that quickly? Because I don't feel like people would, right? Like that fast anyway. I guess what I'm saying as well is I wish I would have seen more in the beginning of just New York City getting pummeled, right? Like you see it for sure, but I feel like this movie focuses a lot on the aftermath, and like, say instead of day 1, it's like day 2 to 5, right? You're more in that range of this movie rather than day 1, but maybe that's also just to show again how quickly they've taken over, right? Like day 1, it's over, right? Like it's over in hours. But again, that's to show that. So again, I'm trying to give leniency. I'm trying to be too nitpicky here, but this is just overall impressions. Okay. I've only simmered overnight to think about where I'm at. So talking about the helicopter scene, this is one of my favorites. I thought it was super cool. So I never thought about it. Like, they can't obviously get up to a helicopter. Like, maybe it can run out of fuel because they'll chase it, but who knows if they will or won't. But when the helicopter's going through the city, like over top of the city, there's like 3 of them. It's cool because you can see the creatures are racing on buildings coming after them, but they can't get up to it, right? They're trying to. They want to kill it, but they can't get up to it. And I actually just thought that was really cool. There's also another clip where they all run by in a street. Now, I know in the trailer it's got one where they're all running down from the building top. That was cool too. But I liked seeing them all run by, and you just stay quiet. And like 8 of them run by the street, like where the alley they're in. And I just thought it was really cool because like you obviously make a noise. Like, I mean, sure, they're being really loud, but you make a noise and they hear that stray noise, they'll just go over there where you are. And they do use that misdirection a couple times in the movie, like, well, they'll shatter a car window and an alarm goes off because they know that's loud. It'll bring them over, which was interesting. A couple other little things, like, I mean, the main character follows around with some companions at one point, you know, just some like younger kids, and she just gets rid of them. Like, you're just expecting them to die or something, which, I mean, doesn't happen. And her main companion she picks up is Eric, who's actually looks like a business guy at the start, and he eventually makes it out of there, but we'll come back to that in a moment. The other side characters are Kat, which is supposed to be like her like service animal. I know a lot of reviews in, like, again, I just went on Google and I looked up last night and this morning. A lot of reviews are ripping on the cat being a little too quiet. I mean, I think as a service animal, it kind of makes sense, but I think a lot of cat owners would know, like, the cat at some point would make a noise. It was just a little abnormally quiet. I'm not going to like nitpick that. I like the cat. I was happy with the cat being in the movie, but I can understand the point. That's, I guess, what I'm trying to put across. I can understand where someone's saying, like, you know, I don't know if I believe that. But would you really also believe aliens from outer space? I don't know. So, I mean, take that with a grain of salt, okay? I just, again, like, you're really nickeling and diming it at that point, but I feel like it should be brought up. Because that cat was abnormally quiet for the entire movie. There is a scene I don't know if I completely agree with. So when the helicopters go by, they're all broadcasting to come down to the docks. They're like, we got a boat. They can't swim. They know that already, so that they can't swim. We've got a dock. We've got a boat out there to get you out of there. And actually, the Henry character from the second movie is on that boat. He gets onto the boat, and he's in the beginning as well. When they hear that, the main character and Eric, they go out into the streets there, and Sam's like looking around. You know, Eric's looking around, and like you just see all the people coming out. It's like, you know, all these people, like, it's like hundreds of people, right, have all figured out its sound. Or again, they heard the helicopter broadcast saying, be quiet. So they all start going, but all of them are making noise, and then obviously the creatures show up and take them out. And I just find that interesting. Like, if they knew it was sound, like, I don't know, like a lady's like, it shows deliberately, right? Like, she's like walking her stroller or her like luggage bag, and it's going over glass and it's making noise, right? Like, anything at all. I mean, maybe this is just a trope of the series, and this is kind of just where I'm at with it. But they definitely I find they overplayed a little bit, like, of moments where you wouldn't want to make a sound, but you make a sound. For example, again, when the creatures you see in the trailer that come down from the ceiling on the glass building, which, by the way, was very impressive. I like the look of that. They're trying to get through, like, one of those, like, revolving sliding doors or whatever there, and it knocks over, like, they open the door, and it knocks over, like I don't even know, like a leather suitcase, a leather satchel, and it just goes, thump, like a little thud, and it's enough to make them all come over to them. They do that a lot. And I mean, I think that's good, but I think that was more a trope in the first movie because it's like this is all unknown to us. Now, one specific couple reviews were mentioning that they were very peeved that they didn't get to see anything new about the creatures, really than one scene, which I'll talk about momentarily. And I can kind of agree to that. Like, it would have been nice to get a better idea. You know, something that I think is a bit of a trope, but I think actually would have worked really well here is having, like, the news station. You know, like they always do, right? Have it like even like if you know the movie Children of Men, you'll get exactly what I'm about to say. So in the beginning of that movie, though, the main character walks into a coffee shop, and it's just in the background. Like you can see it in the background, you can hear it in the background, but it's not the main focus. And then he leaves, so you get just enough of that news sequence in the corner, and he leaves. And I think that would have been perfect. Like, she walks in, she's new to the city, she's walking around, like maybe a newspaper, something. Well, maybe not a newspaper, it wouldn't make any sense. But you know what I mean? She walks into a shop to get a coffee for the morning, and as she's walking out, you know, there's on the news, and it's showing like the meteorites coming down, like just to show that it's worldwide. I mean, we understand that it's worldwide, but just show what other places are going through real quick. Another good scene like that would be like War of the Worlds. You know, where the camera crew comes up, the Tom Cruise remake, and they put in the tape, and it's showing them going through like other cities just exterminating. But I mean, again, like, to the credit of the movie, it's possible that it's just that quick and simultaneous. Like, it's everywhere at once, all at the same time. So there's nothing's coming out. Also didn't get to see much military presence, and I just would have liked to see them, like how futile it would have been. Like, you know, lodge a tank or two in there, right? And just, I know we do see like a couple jets come in and like blow up the bridges, like to contain. But I just would have liked to see them a little bit on the ground. But again, that's just me wanting something. That's fine. So the scene I was talking about was there's later in the movie, there's a scene where the second main character there, Eric, he's in a construction zone, sneaking around trying to get the cat, and he's trying to get out of there, and he sees like a bigger creature come by. This like actually looked bigger, so you're like, now people are questioning, is that a queen? What is that? And they appear to be like eating out of eggs, like actually feasting. And if you know from the first and second movie and this movie, they don't kill the humans or like animals or anything, they just destroy. Right? Anything they get to, they just destroy it. So it was interesting to see that, and I'd like to know more, but unfortunately nothing else is revealed there. So it's just kind of, it looks to be a one-off scene, but it's hard to say. If there's more lore to find out there, I think a lot of people would be very intrigued, because like, how do they survive, right? Like, what's their long-term goal? You know, like, do they graze on anything? How did the eggs get there? Like, that'd be interesting to know that. So finally, at the end of the movie, our main character has been fighting this terminal cancer, and you see that she's suffering throughout the movie. Like, she's getting worse and worse. And I mean, it's only been so many days, but it's just showing, like, obviously everything she's doing taking a toll on her, and that is taking a toll. And there's a few scenes which are nice. You know, where she, like, they pretend that she's on stage, you know, like doing a magic show. She wants to eat food she's never tried, like pizza. I mean, that's in a lot of the reviews, which we'll come back to in a moment. And at the end, that's kind of her main thing. She's like, you know what, like, I'm not going to make it, regardless, basically. Even if I make it onto that boat, this is going to take me. So I might as well just do what I want in my final days and then just shit out of here. And I think that's what a lot of the reviews are getting hung up on, is that the main character just kind of offed herself at the end of the movie. But again, we'll talk about it in a moment. So some of that stuff is played through. I don't find there was a lot of creature scenes. I mean, I think they wanted to more develop the relationship of the two characters, like just what they had going, and then move that along, which I don't think was necessarily a bad thing. Anyway, at the end of the movie, she sacrifices herself, so she starts making some noise and stuff to get Eric to the boat. He does make it to the boat. He gets on the boat with the cat, and he gets out of there, and she kind of goes back into the city, and she's got like her, like, I would call it like your speakerphone or your boombox, but she's got her, like, you know, stereo basically, chilling in the street, earphones in, and she unplugs the earphones. And then at the end of the movie, I thought this was extremely cliche, just how it looked. I understand what was happening, but just the presentation. One of them jumps down right in the middle of the street behind her, and obviously just, you know, you can just put two and two together, it just kills her at the end. I just didn't like how that was displayed. I understand what she was doing. I just didn't really like, again, the presentation of that. I just thought it looked corny. Yeah, so like I said, I see a lot of reviews arguing about the pizza and that she killed herself at the end and you can't get devoted to a character that didn't want to live in the first place. I would kind of argue that a little bit. I do understand that point of view, and I kind of think the same thing. But I think what the movie is trying to present is like, she's like, I'm going to go out on my own terms, right? So this is going to kill me. This illness is going to kill me. This cancer will take me and I won't be alive anymore. And I'm going to let it have its way. So what she can do is like, she knows she's going to die. So she's like, all right, well, you know what? In these last few days, let's do some stuff I've never done before, right? Let's go have some pizza, right? Let's go do this, right? Jam out to some tunes, right? Just live it up for a couple days, and just by yourself. And then when you're ready, you just pull the plug on that, and then they come end it, right? And that's it. And then it's over. And she doesn't have to battle it anymore. She's constantly seen in the movie like getting like the pain pads, like the strips that you can put on you just to help out. So don't have to do any of that anymore. Right? I think both the actors did a tremendous job, especially because it's mainly just the two of them for most of the movie. I think they did tremendous. They did excellent. I don't even know what I would rate the movie. I mean, in conclusion, I don't think like I'm at that point of like I'm a critic that I can be like it's 2 stars. But I think it was just like kind of mediocre to me. I just felt like it lacked something. Like maybe it was too quick. Maybe I needed more story. I mean, even in the original movie, you get a really idea of the dynamic of the family. And I think like a lot of things play advantage of that. And maybe it was just because it was the first movie as well. Like everything was unknown. And don't get me wrong, the first movie's got flaws, but I just felt like this one just fell flat for me. And I can kind of see where people are coming from in the critique. Again, being like the main actress, not wanting to, like in the story wise, right? Not wanting to live. Whereas like Eric is like, I got to get out of here. But maybe it's the point of like, he's got more going on for him where she's like, again, she's toast in any day. Like her clock's ticking. So she could just tick it herself, if you think about it that way. All right, well, that's all I got, everybody. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the movie review. I'm hoping to do more of these as I continue along, watching some of these strange movies that come out. Deadpool's coming out here in a couple weeks, and hopefully that'll be good. So, all right, and other stuff. I don't know. Something else is coming out, right? All right, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you in the next one. Take it easy. Peace.